I use it because it does what Royal Prestige says it does. It cooks my food in a healthy way. It makes vegetables that I want to eat, that I enjoy eating.
I enjoy my cookware. I use it a lot. It keeps everything inside, keeps it crisp, it's good, it's healthy.
Great products, great service.
You reduce the fat in your cooking, you reduce the fat in your diet.
You can cook fresh vegetables quickly. You don't lose any of the important water-soluble nutrients down the drain.
The cookware I have is very convenient. It's easy to use, it's easy to learn how to use.
So whistle tells you when the temperature's just right, so you can't burn anything.
You can prepare fresh foods quickly that are far more satisfying. They have the taste and the texture and the crunch.
It makes my life easy. It's convenient, and it fits right into my lifestyle.
It's simple, it's effective, it's efficient, and it produces healthy food that I enjoy eating.
Hi, I'm Jim Martin. I'm Vice President of Sales for Royal Prestige. And we want to say thank you for investing in what we believe is truly the finest cooking system today, the Royal Prestige Health System cookware. And sure, it costs a little bit more than most sets of cookware, but as with everything else, you get pretty much what you pay for. And we're real confident that once you learn how to use the Royal Prestige Health System cookware, you'll know that you got your money's worth and a whole lot more. The Royal Prestige cookware is designed and built by the West Bend Company, a giant in the cookware industry. It uses 3 layers of surgical steel with titanium, so it's built to last for a lifetime. Plus, there are layers of carbon steel and copper and silver for efficient, even heat conduction. Royal Prestige and West Bend have invested literally millions of dollars in tooling and machinery to create a cooking system that is both healthy and simple to use. My wife really enjoys using the health system cookware, and she loves that ready temp whistle because it keeps her from burning anything, even when she has all 4 kids in the kitchen at once competing for her attention. In this video, we'll share with you some helpful hints that will help you get the most out of using your new cookware set. Not only should you watch the video, but read the introductory section of the cookbook that came with your set. These tools will help assure that you have a truly enjoyable experience using your health system cookware. Before using your cookware the first time, make sure you wash it thoroughly in warm soapy water to which you've added a 1/4 cup of vinegar. This removes all traces of polishing compounds which can remain from the manufacturing. If you don't remove these oils, they can burn and turn the cookware surface brown. Then you have to use some real elbow grease to get them clean again. So don't forget to wash them well before using them the first time. Okay, now we're ready to start cooking. And let's begin by showing you how the health system can prepare the healthiest possible meats for you and your family. So throw out the grease, throw out the fats, and let's try pan broiling meats in your new health system cookware. Always preheat at medium-high and test with a few drops of water to make sure that the unit is properly heated. The Royal Prestige Health System is ideal for cooking those leaner cuts of steak, for a high-protein, low-fat entree, to help assure that you're getting enough iron to maintain good health. No grease or fat is used, and initially, the steak will stick to the cooking surface. The health system is actually searing the meat and sealing in the juices to reduce shrinkage and to save you money on your meat bill. After 5 minutes, the meat loosens and turns easily. Now we cover and wait for the ready temp to signal 180 degrees. Then we reduce and cook for just 4 more minutes while the steaks baste in their own juices at medium-low. With the Royal Prestige Health System, in just 10 minutes, you'll serve up the most tender, juicy, delicious steaks that you and your guests have ever eaten. And because you're cooking in a sealed system, there's little or no shrinkage. You'll also like what the health system does for pork chops. Once the chops are turned, try adding some barbecue sauce or soy sauce for that little extra flavor. With the self-basting design of the covers, your pork chops will simmer in the sauce as you reduce the heat for the final 5 minutes. The result, pork chops that are plump and juicy, cooked in their own juices, no grease, no fats, so they're lower in calories, fat, and cholesterol. And certainly everyone's heard the experts say we need to eat more fish, but fried fish isn't the answer. Just wait till you try these 6-minute fish fillets in the Royal Prestige Health System. The skillet was preheated, no grease or oil, And we squeeze on the juice of an orange that will mingle with the natural juices to create a delicious sauté. Cover with a self-basting lid and cook at medium for just 6 minutes. Because these fillets have been cooking in a sealed system, there is no odor of fish throughout the home. But when the cover comes off and the seasoning goes on, your sensory nerves are in for a special treat. These are fish fillets which your children will eat, even if they don't like most fish. And they're certainly a lot healthier than those breaded fried fish sticks. Looks pretty simple, doesn't it? And with just a little bit of practice, you'll be cooking healthier meats, fish, and poultry in half the time that you used to. Now, the question always comes up, well, can I fry foods in the Royal Prestige Health System? And the answer is yes, but be sure you're using medium heat and not the big high heat that you're used to, because the copper and the silver and the cast iron are a much more efficient cooking system than what you're used to. Now, here are some other tips on pan broiling from a guy who really enjoys cooking in the health system when I'm at home with my family. When you preheat, make sure the surface is hot enough so that the water droplets beat up and dance. If it's not ready, wait another minute. Proper preheating will ensure that your meats will brown nicely and that the juices will be locked in by the searing process. This step is important to help you minimize shrinkage and help to stretch your food budget. And here's another tip. Once you've turned the steak or the pork chops, you know that you're supposed to reduce the heat to low. Well, low on your stove is not necessarily the same as low on my stove. So here's a little guideline to help you get it right every time. When you first reduce the heat, the cover will vibrate and allow moisture to escape readily. But after about 2 minutes, the cover should look like this, just an occasional puff of steam. If there's no steam escaping, you need to turn the heat up just a little bit. If there's too much steam coming out, you need to turn the heat down a little bit. The real key is just that occasional puff of steam. Another major benefit of the Royal Prestige Health System is that it lets you preserve all of your vitamins and your minerals and your phytonutrients when we cook our fruits and our vegetables. Here we've taken carrots and cauliflower, put them side by side because no flavors are interchanged when cooking in the semi-vacuum of the Royal Prestige Health System. We always add that ounce of water per quart of vegetables to replace the moisture that's been lost from the farm to your kitchen. We never use more than a medium heat, so the kitchen stays cool and comfortable. We open the ready temp valve because this valve signals when the proper cooking temperature is reached. When you hear the whistle, you turn your gas burner to low or an electric burner to off to assure that you're cooking at 180 degrees rather than 212 degrees where many of the nutrients are destroyed. When the vegetables are ready, you'll feel the vacuum that has sealed in the goodness. Open the valve to release the vacuum and get ready to serve your family vegetables that are both healthy and delicious. By cooking all your vegetables in the health system, you can be sure that your family will get all of the vitamins, minerals, and phytonutrients, plus the fiber required for a healthy diet. Fruits can also be prepared by the waterless method, and just wait till you see how your health system makes applesauce. Those couple of ounces of moisture are added, and then the unit is covered and placed on the stove at a medium heat with the ready temp valve open. And after just a few minutes, the whistle signals that the unit has reached 180 degrees. We'll reduce the burner to low so the apples continue to cook until they're soft and can be mashed into applesauce. In about 10 minutes more, the apples are ready to come off the stove. We use a solid head masher to press the apples through the holes in the steamer strainer. The applesauce comes out below, and on top, just the peels to be discarded. Sound simple enough? Well, it is, as long as you remember a couple of basic rules. Since we rely on the moisture in the vegetables to cook them, it's important that you have enough vegetables in the pan. At least 2/3 full is a good guideline. Don't try cooking this waterless, because there's not enough moisture present to make the whistle signal. The food will dry out and stick and burn. Cutting large vegetables into smaller pieces will save you cooking time and allow for better circulation of the natural moisture in the food. And here's one my mom had problems with. Try to avoid the urge to open the top and poke around during the cooking process. If you do check and find out that the vegetables aren't quite done, recover the unit, open the valve, and turn the stove back to medium until the whistle just begins to signal again. Then close the valve and turn to low once more. When you're cooking a block of frozen vegetables, you'll save time by rinsing them first in warm water so that you melt most of the ice. Then, cook them as you would fresh vegetables, only shorten the time because they're already partly cooked when you buy them. Once this unit whistles, these will be ready to serve. If you're cooking waterless on an electric burner instead of gas, remember the one important difference. As you know, an electric burner stays hot once you turn it off, while a gas burner gets cold immediately. So, when you hear the ready temp valve signal and you're cooking on electric, you can close the valve and turn that burner off immediately. If you're cooking on gas, close the valve and reduce the gas to the tiniest pinpoint flame you can get without it going out. There are certain things you do have to cook with water, like dried beans and rice and pasta. But even here you're going to save time with the Royal Prestige Health System because it boils water so quickly. Use your new cookware to make perfect rice every time. And you can reduce the amount of water because you're cooking in a sealed system. Here we've used just 2½ cups of water to make 2 cups of rice instead of the 4 cups called for in the recipe. Simmering time is also reduced by up to 50%. Many people ask about cooking eggs or the egg substitutes in the Royal Prestige Health System. Now these foods, along with others that contain no natural oils, things like liver and certain kinds of fish, will require a little bit of margarine or butter or a little bit of oil to prevent them from sticking. To keep fat and calories to a minimum, any of the non-stick vegetable oil sprays work very well with your new cookware. Preheat the skillet until you see the vapors start to rise. Put the eggs in the skillet and immediately reduce the heat to low. Cook your eggs sunny side up, flip them over for a more traditional fried egg, or cook delicious scrambled eggs. And not only do the eggs cook beautifully, but the skillet cleans up with just a sponge and warm soapy water. In fact, one of the things you like best about your health system cookware is how easy it is to clean. Normally, a sponge and warm soapy water is all that's needed. To avoid water spots, especially if you have hard water with lots of minerals, dry the utensil with a dish towel immediately after washing. For tougher jobs, you'll want to use a plastic pad or one of those scruffy sponges. And to preserve the cookware's finish, not to mention your hands, don't ever mess with these guys. Now, people always want to know, what happens if I burn something really badly in my cookware? So what we did was put on some chicken, crank it up to high, and we just forgot about it for an hour. Now, Mom always said, don't ever put cold water into a hot skillet because it would warp out of shape. It would ruin the pan. And that might have been true with Mom's cookware. But Mom didn't have titanium steel cookware. So if you have a tough skillet cleanup, run some cold water into that skillet, let it sizzle and steam, and most of the burned food will come loose. Then wash it with one of those plastic scruffy pads to remove most of the rest of the food. And then use the cleanser that comes packed with your cookware. Sprinkle some cleanser on the dry cookware surface, dampen a paper towel, and clean with a circular motion, and your cookware is good as new. To make those tough cleanup jobs even easier, you can add about a ½ inch of water into that skillet. Then bring it to a boil on the stovetop for a few minutes and allow it to cool. Now most of that burned food will rinse out with just warm soapy water. If there is food residue or a brown or a bluish heat stain that remains, this is a job for Steel Glow or Steel Bright or Cameo or Barkeeper's Friend or any of those non-abrasive cleansers you can buy at the grocery store. We sprinkle the cleanser onto a dry cookware surface. Then with a damp paper towel, we buff the surface of the utensil in a circular motion. We wash it with warm soapy water and rinse. And your cookware is just like new again. The more challenging problem is cleaning up the grease stains on the bottom of the cookware, the grease from the burner that gets baked on through repeated use. Here's one that a customer sent back to me and bet me $20 that I couldn't get it clean. Now, if he had just watched this video, he could have done this himself in about 60 seconds, and he would have saved himself $20. But notice, I'm using the cleanser on a dry cookware surface with a damp paper towel, and although it does take some work, remember that grease was cooked on there over a period of several weeks or months, but with a little elbow grease, you can see I've got this utensil looking good as new once again. With just a little extra effort occasionally, you can keep your cookware looking as bright and shiny as it was the day you opened the box. You'll also want to keep your ready temp whistles clean so they function correctly. So open them up and run some warm soapy water through them for a little bit, and then rinse them and dry them. The only other service that you may ever need on your cookware is if your kids manage to break or lose one of the top knobs or one of the handles or one of the whistles. But the knobs and handles screw right off and right back on again for easy replacement. And we even send you the new ones free of charge. Occasionally, you might need to take a screwdriver to tighten up the handles, which can loosen up as heating and cooling cause expansion and contraction. Well, I can't think of anything else I need to tell you because there's really nothing else that ever goes wrong with the cookware. The only complaint we ever get is, hey, the cookware burned my food. Well, between you and me, our cookware has never burned anybody's food. People burn food. High heat burns food. Running out of moisture can burn the food. But our cookware has never burned anybody's food. So if you're having a problem with burning, let's look at the reasons and let's take steps to correct those problems so that you can enjoy using the health system. Here are the most common reasons. If the problem is that the meats are burning instead of browning, simply reduce the heat from medium-high down to medium for the preheating process. Or the problem may be that you need to use a little margarine or the cooking oil spray in the case of some meats or fish which don't have enough natural oil themselves. If your problem is with vegetables, if they're scorching before the ready temp signals, make sure that the ready temp first of all is clean, and if that's not the problem, make sure that your utensil is at least 2/3 full so there's plenty of natural moisture in the utensil. And make sure that you've added that ounce or two of water because there's always some moisture lost between the farm and the grocer's shelf. It may also help in the case of larger vegetables to cut them into smaller pieces. And if all else fails, it may just be that your stove's medium needs to be turned down a little bit. If your problem is burning vegetables after your ready temp is whistled, then you've probably forgotten to close the valve and turn that burner to low if it's gas or turn it off if it's electric. Because once your burner is off, you don't have to worry about burning anything. And if you're that occasional person that we hear from that's burning their pasta or their rice or their beans because they're trying to cook everything by the waterless method, then we suggest that you open up your cookbook to that section that tells you that there are a couple of things that you can't cook by the waterless method. Now, just before you put all this knowledge to work and head into the kitchen to prepare your first Royal Prestige dinner, we want to take you through a short but very healthy 16-minute chicken dinner for two and also a full-blown family dinner for 8 people. And through the miracle of videotape, we're going to do this all in just 5 minutes, so pay attention. We begin by preheating the small skillet at medium-high. When the drops of water beat up and dance, the unit is ready to brown the chicken. No grease or oil is added because the health system uses only the natural juices of the chicken during the cooking process. We've chosen the chicken breasts because they're especially low in fat and cholesterol, yet they will still cook up moist and juicy in the health system. Placing the cover in a slightly cocked position allows for the chicken to brown but no grease to spatter. To save both energy and cleanup, we'll prepare fresh broccoli and frozen mixed vegetables side by side in the 2-quart vegetable unit. Just an ounce of water is all you need to replace the natural moisture that was lost from the farm to your kitchen. Cover the unit, place it on a medium heat with the ready temp valve open. While we wait for the chicken to brown, we'll cut a large potato into home fry wedges. After about 6 minutes, the chicken is browned and ready to turn. Notice how the Royal Prestige Health System started with no grease or oil, but now is cooking chicken in its own juices. This assures your chicken will be low in both fat and cholesterol. We'll add potato wedges and make delicious steam fries right in with the chicken. We'll now cover the unit and reduce to low and allow the health system to baste the chicken for the final 10 minutes. The ready temp whistle tells us that the vegetables have reached 180 degrees, so we close the valve and turn that burner off. In just a few minutes, we're ready to serve a complete dinner, high in nutrition but low in calories, fat, and cholesterol. Chicken, potatoes, mixed vegetables, and broccoli cooked and served in less than 16 minutes, proving that fast food doesn't have to be junk food. Watch as a brand new customer prepares a full family dinner for 8 in just 60 minutes. She preheats the Dutch oven and places a 3-pound roast into the unit to sear on one side, just as we've done with all the meats. After 5 minutes, she turns the roast to sear the other side as well, locking in the juices and reducing shrinkage. The savings on this roast is more than $1. Over a year's time, think what your family can save. Now she adds some onions for extra flavor, and then carrots, which are a rich source of vitamin A and beta-carotene. Then she adds potatoes. She covers the Dutch oven and remembers to turn the heat to medium-low. More than a half hour has elapsed now, and our chef is back to try her hand at broccoli. The cookbook suggests rinsing the broccoli and draining off the excess water as another method of replenishing that little bit of moisture that's been lost from the farm to the grocer's shelf. Our customer has chosen the combination cover for the broccoli so she can try a little trick she learned from the cookbook. You'll see that in a minute. Next, she'll prepare some frozen peas. Just a sprinkle of moisture and the peas go on the stove, also with the ready temp open and the heat set to medium as with all vegetables. And in just a few minutes, she hears the ready temp telling her that the vegetable units have reached the proper temperature. So she closes the valve and turns both burners down to the lowest flame she can get. Into the Dutch oven goes the biscuit dough for individual bread loaves. The dome cover goes over the top. And now for that little trick. To free up extra burners when needed, especially at holiday mealtime, the cookbook says to place the large vegetable unit and the small one on top of the meat Dutch oven, and everything continues to cook because of the heat-conducting capacity of this incredible cooking system. And now an hour has gone by, and an excited first-time chef is anxious to see if her results look like the pictures in the cookbook. The peas are a bright Kelly green, and they've retained their vitamins and minerals with this waterless cooking technique. Now she goes to the combination unit with the broccoli, one of the vegetables that doctors have found can help prevent certain cancers. She simply inverts the unit and voila, the broccoli is ready to serve. And now for the Dutch oven. The cover comes off. The individual bread loaves are ready, and that roast that went in at 3 pounds comes out at nearly the same 3 pounds. There is little or no shrinkage when you cook in the health system. And when our chef adds the potatoes and the carrots and the onions and the broccoli with mushrooms and the peas and the individual bread loaves, you've got a meal that you can prepare on your very first try with the Royal Prestige Health System. Once again, this is Jim Martin. And on behalf of everyone here at Royal Prestige and at West Bend, the cookware factory where your health system is made, we want to say thank you, not only for becoming a customer, but for taking the time to learn how to use your health system correctly. Because when you use it right, you're going to be a happy customer. And happy customers recommend their friends, their families, and their neighbors to become Royal Prestige customers also. And we have gifts for our customers who help us find new customers. Ask your representative how you can receive our 3-piece stainless steel serving set, these 4 heavyweight stainless mixing bowls, our 5-piece kitchen tool set, or even the fabulous Royal Prestige salad machine with all 5 carbon steel cutting cones, a $300 value just for referring new customers. Or maybe you'd like to add one of the large 12 or 20 quart sauce pots to your collection. Whatever it is that you want most, we'd like to help you earn discounts toward it, or perhaps to earn it for free for referring customers to Royal Prestige. And the other thing we know is that as a satisfied customer, you're going to come back to Royal Prestige when it's time for more quality products for your kitchen and for your dining room. Products with 50-year warranties from a company like Royal Prestige that considers customers like you our most valuable resource. Thank you once again from everyone here at Royal Prestige.
listen to what these customers have to say about our products and the benefits of distilled water.
Oh, we love our distiller. It removes all the chemicals, the contaminants. It gives me peace of mind.
Drinking good, pure water, unencumbered with any type of contamination. That's what I want for my system.
Well, that's the sad thing, is that you don't really know what's in the tap water.
I think we take it for granted that our communities are ensuring us with safe drinking water. With this distillation system, we go one step further, and we know.
We think it tastes better. I mean, we drink a lot of water. We drink it with our dinner every evening. Going from tap water that tastes very chlorinated, very chemical, now it's a very clean and pure taste.
I find myself drinking a lot more water.
Our neighbors come over to borrow gallons of water to make their coffee and their fruit drinks.
Our daughter Ellie likes the water too. When she gets thirsty, she just goes to the refrigerator, pours herself a glass of water and drinks it. I got tired of lugging around bottled water. We decided on a distiller just because of convenience.
I have a line to my kitchen sink with an extra faucet and run into my ice maker, and I don't ever have to worry about my distiller.
Before we had that distiller, we just weren't drinking our share of water.
My husband has a science background, and he was totally convinced that using distilled water was the way to go.
When I discovered distilled water, the body said, hey, give me more because it's good for my system. And I probably drank 3 times as much as I used to drink on a daily basis.
We're convinced that we're living healthier lives because of that.
So add it all up: the great taste, better health, peace of mind, convenience. Then add on our exclusive 15-year warranty, and we think you'll agree an Infinity distilled water system from Royal Prestige is clearly a wise purchasing decision for now and well into the 21st century.
There are other distillers on the market, but none that will produce quality water better than those from Royal Prestige. None.
You won't believe the difference that it will make. The taste, how much healthier you feel.
Now that we've had it, I can't imagine being without it.
To me, it's the best investment I've ever made for myself and my family.
And if you would ever watch my husband clean out the reservoir or the tank in the distiller and see the stuff that's in there that we didn't drink, you would never touch tap water again.
The Infinity DL, DLX, and the new portable Infinity CT. The proof is in the purity. Royal Prestige, when only the very finest is good enough.